All right, hey guys, Noob Trader 2020 here. I just wanted to quickly go over an options scenario that I got locked into. By the way, this is financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't care what you do with your money. This is just how I trade and the way I look at things. I'm just going to quickly go over getting out of covered calls without buying back the shares or buying back the calls at a loss and making money on the trade. So I'm going to go over the kind of conditions in order for that to be met. You need to be up on share price. It's based on where you bought it, and then where it is now. Let's say it's $10, went up to 11 or something like that. So you're up on share price, and your calls, your covered calls, need to be devalued. Man, I get a pen here that works. Yeah, the covered calls need to be in the negative. You'll see a gain in your brokerage. Basically, you wrote the calls at a peak or whatever, or the time's gone out of them, and they're worth less than you sold them for. Okay, so we quickly talked about the scenario that has to be in place in order for this strategy to work. So let's talk about how I got into the situation and what I did to get out of it. So I had 900 shares AMC at I think it was $37. So I had -9 covered calls at like $35 for like 2 weeks. And let's talk about where I wrote these calls. So the stock's kind of just farting around, 38, 30, 35, 28, maybe 40. It's just been kind of range bound for a while, and I haven't really paid too much attention to it. But I think the stock was down here around $34, and I sold like a $35 covered call for 2 weeks. Because I wanted to capture as much premium as I could, because to me, just being consistent with that is how I'll just keep making money. That's where you're consistent. No matter what, you just keep writing. You'll beat any S&P and NASDAQ, and you'll crush them all, because you're making 5 to 8, maybe 10% a week on your money versus 15, 20% a year if you're really lucky, annually if you're invested in an index fund. So the premium wins. It's going to win all the time. So I ride them really tight. So on Monday, I think the stock was like $36 or something, maybe 35. Maybe it's 34. I don't remember. Either way, this is Monday. So let's just draw our line here. Let's say it's $34. Let's say on Tuesday it goes up 37, and I was like, oh, my calls are only $2 in the money. I got 2 weeks. Broker hasn't highlighted them. He's not going to take my shares. I'm not worried about it. I don't care that it's gone up a little bit. Well, it goes up here to 38, and then on Tuesday, if you've been watching the AMC chart, it just kind of cup and handles and just goes up here to $48. And I was like, well, crap. I'm buried. I'm probably, you know, I'm going to be at risk, more risk of my shares getting called away at this low price. But I also haven't been able to capture the stock movement. So right in here, when it was right about $42, no, it was right around $43, I did my roll. And we've talked about this in previous videos. The problem is I was so buried. I had to go from a 35, which was in the money, to an out of the money 45. I had to go out 10 points. So pretty much I had to buy back a $10 call and sell. I think I sold like a 12. But in order to do that, I went out to November. That was not what I wanted to do. Because this is my income. I didn't want to be locked in this trade for 3 months. I was looking at it was like 80 something days. So I wrote a November, like 16th, 45 strike. And at that point I was like, if the stock keeps going up, just rockets, I'll use some of my premium and I'll have to buy some calls just to see if I can make a little money on the upshot. I did, and I was stupid, and I'm not saying anybody else is, I'm just saying that I was, because I knew better. I immediately lost my money that I spent on those calls because the stock went up here to $48 and then it just tanked. And either way. So I lost a little bit of that premium. I did get a credit for writing that out of the money 45 strike. Made like $1,200. So the stock goes down here, you know, and it tanked. Today's Friday, it's down at $40, $41 or something like that. But I still have this November. I was like, man, you know, and I only see this, you know. You don't know what this is. This is a big, you know, I mean, you have no idea. I have no clue what it's gonna do. Now I can guess based on the past. Usually when I see something like this, I'm like, to me the odds are pretty good it's gonna tank. And so what I did is I wanted to get this had so much time in it that it just was not working for me. It was almost working against me. It was not good. So I rolled down to like a 40. Oh, I remember. I went to a 37 for October 15th. Because I felt like, because it's kind of relative. I knew here, I kind of felt like it was gonna go down. So I wrote the 37, which as the stock went down, say I sold it for $12, you know, on Thursday, today, Friday, the stock's tanked down to $40. It's only worth it was only worth $8 because of the stock devalued. Now that's a very risky play. I knew I'd have to roll back out again if the stock went back up. But to me, it was worth it. I was like 80% sure it was gonna go down. So I was still locked into October 15th. I was like, I don't really want to do that. What do I do? So the strategy that I employed was, I don't want to be locked into a trade for 2.5 months. This is my income. What do I do? And I was like, oh wait, I've got $1,200 cash, and I've got 900 shares, and I've got 9 calls at $37. looks pretty tricky. Normally you'd think you gotta wait. Well, thankfully my purchase price, like I stated earlier, was 37. Share price was 41. You know, there's a little bit of a difference in here. For 900 shares, it's quite a bit of profit. So, but it's unrealized because I haven't sold or done anything. I just have these calls sitting out there, and I don't have enough money to buy them all back at once. So what I did is I just bought one call back, and it was I know it was like $8. But then, so now I have 8 calls out there, but I have 900 shares. So what do? Minus 100 shares, you sell a block of shares. So now you got 800 shares. So my rule is, and you can come up with your own rules. If I do this strategy where I will start buying back calls and selling shares, I do it immediately. I have been burned bad, waiting or hoping the stock will go up. If I'm in profit on the stock and the covered calls are devalued and I want to get out of the trade so I can rewrite again or at a different strike, I will buy a call back, one of them, with a little bit of money that I've got. So that cost me $800. And then I will sell a block of shares. And that block of shares will give me, at $40, that was $4,000. So that was pretty nice to have. So then you take this $4,000 and you can buy back, you can buy back 3 of them. So now you only got 5 calls out there, and then you sell. When you get rid of the calls first, then you dump the shares, and you just walk it down so that you have 0 calls and 0 shares, and then you make a little bit of profit. I think I started the account a month ago with like $27.5, and today when I closed out, I had made all my call money that I've been making, which is a good amount of money. And today when I closed out everything, I bought the contracts back and sold the shares. I still made a profit. So my account balance went from like $27.5 to like $29.47 or something like that. I made a little gain in there, about $2,000, even not as much as I could have made, but still had a little bit of profit in there after buying the calls back and selling the shares. And profit's profit to me. I don't care if it's $2. I've been a pig before and I've been slaughtered, and I just don't. The only thing I'm greedy on is premium. Either way, so that's kind of how that works. I hope that's not confusing. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or ask. I'm not some trading expert. I just like to view all of this as an opportunity to learn and grow and improve on my trading. Thanks, guys.